Okay, guys, welcome to Straight to the Point Tutorials. Jose says hello from Madrid, Spain. Today I will be retouching two photographs I shot in RAW. Okay, guys, welcome back. As I said, I will be retouching this photograph. This was a photo session of my son one day before his birthday. He wanted fast. There was no time to plan, and we didn't have the space. Some details about this session is that, man, we had a small place in the living room. It's really small. I have a huge octabox, a 2-meter octabox with a 400 watt SK400 Godox flash. So there was no time to plan or rent a smaller gear. So I had to do it in a rush. So there were some things that were not so good because we have no room to move the octabox. So it was really close to him. Also, he needed to be really close to the background, and those are things that sometimes not play into your advantage. But we photographers, we are problem fixers. So if we cannot have the time or we cannot fix it right away, then we use programs like Luminar Neo to help us fine tune, correct, and fix those things that we wanted to be better, right? So without further ado, I will start the process here, and I will be talking in the middle about my thought process, my workflow, and the things I will be doing. This video is going to be longer than the ones you are used to, but I think it will be good for you guys to see how I do it. There's no pre-planning on this one. I just loaded the pictures in here, and I will do that on the go, right? So this photograph, okay. I just gave you some details about the problems we have, the struggles. On the left side, I had a white wall. He was really close. I think it was 2 feet, maybe 1.5 feet from the background, as well the softbox. And you could see the edge of that huge thing. Okay, so this is a RAW file. How I know it's a RAW file? Because if I check the catalog, I know that this is a RAW file. It was shot with a Canon 7D, very old camera, a 50mm lens, 1.8, the Warrior, and it was at f9 and ISO 200 and 1/200 per second, right? So that's the reason when I open the RAW file, the develop tool switches from the regular develop to this develop RAW. And the reason is because it's a RAW file, and Luminar Neo has detected that this is a RAW file, and then you need to tell Luminar Neo which profile you want to use for it to match your camera profile. So that's the first thing you have to do, all right? So I will click on the develop RAW, and over here I only do 2, maybe 3 things. The first one is select the profile. On the camera profile, I will select portrait in this one, all right? This comes from the settings that you use in the camera. And then in this one, I use always neutral. In my camera, I set my camera to neutral, but I want to try the portrait in this one, okay? And the other thing is the white balance. So if you don't see the white balance, it's because you need to expand all these little menus in here, and is under the color tool in the white balance, and I switched this to flash because I was using the flash, right? So there you have it. So those are the only 2 things I will do in there. The other thing I will do now is erase this softbox. So I will click the erase tool. I will make sure the select option is enabled, and then I will select the area I want to erase, and then have artificial intelligence replace that with the proper setting. Okay, the softbox is gone. I think it's okay so far. So now that I use another tool that is not a RAW tool, because you saw at the beginning we have the develop RAW and the noiseless RAW. Now that I use an erase tool that is not part of the RAW edits, now I have, as you can see on the screen, I have the develop mode enabled. So with this, I can now do other adjustments. So that's the first part of my workflow. I work with the RAW tool, the develop tool of the Luminar Neo just to select the profile, the white balance, and if needed, some exposure and some other contrasting. And if I need to add something to that one, I can always go back to the edits and do it, okay? Now, this picture needs light. In this case, I will want to add contrast. So I will go to the develop mode, and then in here, I will use the smart contrast. There you go. I will lower the shadows and the highlights. No, I think the highlights are going to be in 0. And I will add a touch of saturation, not too much. Okay, not looking better. Look. Oops, sorry. Just a few sliders, okay? Good, done with the develop mode. Now, let me do a vignette. The size is fine, feathering. There you go. If I, I like, let me see. No, I like the traditional one, so I will do it again. I click this revert button here, and then I want the the normal one, okay? So, okay, now looking so far, so good. Yes, yeah, good. Now, let's go to color. Add touch of saturation, vibrance, there. And then I will go back to the edits because I think it's too bright still. I go to develop mode, lower the exposure a little bit more, and switch back to tools. Now it's looking much better. I think I will try to desaturate this a little bit. I like what is happening with the suit, right? With the suit in here, you know, it looks good for me. But I think the saturation is exaggerating too much this area. So for that, I will go to the edits. And remember that I did that saturation stuff and all that thing in the color. Remember? Here in the color. Okay? So I can go to masking and show the mask. Go to it, select a brush. Start low, 40, 35, 40, right? And erase from there. I will erase from this area. Okay? A little bit. Maybe from his entire face. Okay? Just a bit first. And see what happens. Okay? Yes. Okay? If I were to fix some stuff in here, for example, this area here to match or to transition to this highlighting here, I will probably need to do a dodge and burning, or maybe in this case, dodge. So let me do that right now. I will switch to tools. And dodge and burn is under the professional tool set. I will click dodge. I want to lighten, and here start really in the strength, really slow. I mean, maybe low, sorry, 15. The size is so too big. Softness, I leave it 100%. And let me see. You see what's going on in here? It's too much. So I will erase. I will erase 100%. Yes, it's too much. Now I will lighten, strength lower, and amount around 50. Increase the size. Let's see what happens. Yes, now it's better. Okay. There. Yes. See? Yeah. I will still remove. Let me go back to the edits. Go to the color. Go to the masking. Go to the brush. Show the brush. Show the mask. Go to the brush. Size is fine. I will put the strength in 100%. Painting, sorry. I will erase from there, from his entire face, the contrast. Go back to tools. Now it's good. If I switch to edits, and I go to Dutch and burn, the burning now is helping me. All right, good. So let's move forward now. And I will do under the portrait tool set, the face. Over here in the face, I will do some slimming. In males, I typically use 30. Right. I will open eyes in here. I will do the whitening of the eyes around there, the eye enhancer. I go crazy a little bit. Yes, because I want that to happen. And the dark circles, these dark circles here, I will also apply a touch. Not a touch, a lot. Okay, and under the mouth menu, I will only whiten the teeth. Okay, so I think I will leave it in there. 30 something. Okay, see the enhancement you see in there, the eyes and that dark areas. It looks natural, it looks okay. So far what we have. So we started with the develop mode. We did some profiling selection. We changed the white balance. Then I started creating the mood, the style of the photograph. I used a vignette. I use color to add or remove color. I use smart contrast, and I added some other things. So you see here is the, if you see, check the screen, you see the order of the things I've done. First of all, I used the develop mode. Then I moved to erasing the softbox. I then did the develop, darkening, lowering the exposure. You can check that in details. Like you already saw in the video, I added a vignette, did some color correction, Dutch and burn, and work on the face. Okay, so with that, I think the photograph is okay. I like this photo. I think it's okay. It's ready. I think he will like it. So I will now move to the next photograph. But before moving, let's check again the before and the after. Before, after, before, after. Good. Okay, this is the other photograph. On this photo, I have some special request. He wants me to transform this photo into like he is in a room with blue and green light. It was kind of that cast, green and blue light. And I say, okay, so we are in a bright area. This looks yellow, and we need to transform this into green. Okay, good. Blue, so I will do that. Right, I will try to do it, okay? Remember I told you guys I'm just doing this on the go. So, as always, with every raw file, I will click on the develop row. I will select the profile. In this case, I will leave it neutral. I will switch white balance to flash. Good. In this case, I will apply some smart contrast. Yes. I will switch back to tools. Oh, I'm in tools already. Now, we have one extra problem with this photograph, and is that this photo is slightly or more than slightly out of focus. Check the screen. You see, there's a little bit of, well, it's not that like that. So there's a little bit of defocus, and I think he moved or I moved. I don't know what happened, but it's not that sharp. I can fix this, or at least try to reduce it using Luminar Neo's artificial intelligence tool called Details. So it's under the Essentials toolbox, and there's this detail tool. So I will start with the medium detail to see what happens. It is scanning. I think is, yeah, I will apply more. Now I will do the small details. And you see, before, after, before, after. Okay, if you don't want to apply all these effects to to the clothes and to the background, you can always mask it But since I'm switching to kind of a grungy, dark blue stuff, I will leave it everywhere. But you know, if you were to just apply it to the face or eyes, just apply a mask and erase everything from the areas you don't want that to be. Okay, so far so good. You know, it looks more sharp. You see, if I click the before and now the after, is sharper. It's sharper. Okay, now when I'm trying to transform the color cast, this tool of Luminar Neo Enhance is great. I don't know how it does it, but for me, I think that for some reason when I enhance a photograph, and you will see that happening, when I enhance that, it will brighten up this kind of photograph a little bit. By applying the enhancement and then reducing the exposure, it keeps those small highlight details and keeps that area in the back of the subject, and that helps me create more separation. So I will apply some enhancement, maybe not too much. Let's see. Will enhance. I will enhance there. See? Yes. Okay. Now, so far, I have developed, details, and enhanced. Nothing more. Now, some tools. I will move now to develop. Now I have a regular develop tool, not the develop raw. And I will reduce the exposure. We'll apply some smart contrast. Okay. Yes, that's good. Leave the exposure. I will leave it there. Okay. I will do a vignette. A regular vignette like that. Yes. Feather a little bit more. See? Yes. Okay, good. Now comes the color part. Green and blue. If I were to think in the regular Photoshop, Lightroom stuff, I would probably do the HSL stuff, work with the colors, curves, and things of that nature. But in Luminar Neo, I have the advantage of artificial intelligence. So I'm thinking on my head that I have two ways of doing this, maybe three different tools that can help me achieve that color thing. One could be the color one under the essentials. The other one could be the toning and also the color harmony. I will start first with the toning. So I will click on toning, and these are at 0, but I will increase this to around 75. Okay, so get the artificial intelligence ready. Okay, and now under the shadows, I will do saturation, maybe around 50. There you go, it's 50. Yeah. And then I would change the hue here to around this area in here because it's the green, that green blue transition he wants. So, okay, it's green. Now it looks, I think green, blue. I think there is okay. Look, just 3 different sliders. Okay, that's it. I can achieve that with just moving a couple of sliders. Okay, if it's too green, if you don't want that, as always, you can mask things out. I will leave it the way it is because he wants that to be in the photograph. But still, I think it's too bright. I think it needs more drama. I will test the color harmony. And I will play with the brilliance. Okay, too much, I think, like there. Let me move the warmth. Yes, to be more, look more desaturated. Okay, good. The last thing in the terms of adjustments, I will do the dramatic one. Let me do the dramatic. Yes, this dramatic tool is great. It kind of does a natural type of Dutch and burning in the overall picture, especially in the skin tones. You see, if you check the photograph, see, it looks more dramatic. And I will reduce it a little bit, and then I will switch back to my edits and go to the develop mode. Not lower the exposure, let me also darken the shadows and the blacks, more black like that. See how it looks like. Now we're talking. That's what he wants, I think. If I were to change this more to the blue type of, look, I will need to go to the toning and move this more to the blue side, maybe there, or if it's greener, so to the green. So you will play with the hue and also with the saturation, right? So it's more saturated all this. So if I was more to blue, boom, the tools. And again, if you want to erase this, you want to erase the effect or the adjustment from any of these of the areas or the parts of the photograph, you just need to apply a mask and start erasing and adding. So we transformed this photograph from this into this other thing because he asked that. We probably edit this photograph a different way, but I think this is what he wants. I need to show these pictures to him to see what he says. But I think knowing him, he will like them, right? So that's it, guys. This video is related to editing raw files in Luminar Neo. And I think that user artificial intelligence systems is really great because it will help you do things faster because artificial intelligence can detect stuff and help you achieve the same results with moving less things. So if you like this type of content, if you come all the way through the end of the video, it's because you like it. Please consider subscribing to the channel, like the video, share, and I will see you in the next straight to the point tutorials, guys. God bless you all. Bye bye.